named American Idol's fourth season winner. Famous American country music artist Carrie Underwood also writes and performs her own songs. Innumerable aspiring musicians have been influenced by her music because of its genuineness, traditionalism, and American ideals. However, are you aware of the struggles she faces away from the limelight? Her singing career was nearly cut short by a bizarre accident, did you know? Additionally, were you aware that she battled with significant discomfort in a private capacity and kept up an upbeat front for the sake of the film? Would you like to stay and find out what the singer is doing now? On a peaceful November evening in 2017, Carrie Underwood experienced one of those things about which she rarely speaks. Carrie chose to do what she had done innumerable times before: take her dogs for a short stroll. Presenting the 51st Country Music Association Awards alongside Brad Paisley had already worn Carrie down. As a result, she experienced a terrible fall as she was about to leave her residence because she had underestimated a step. A fractured wrist and severe facial injuries were the consequences of the tumble. It was becoming increasingly risky for Carrie, who was home alone with her toddler. To get aid, she had to muster up the courage. Doctors operated on her wrist and stitched up her over 40-stitch facial wounds after she somehow managed to get to the hospital quickly enough. Not only did the accident hurt Carrie physically, but she also faced a lengthy and challenging road to rehabilitation. While she was away, her husband returned to Nashville overnight to be by her side. She avoided the spotlight for months, which caused her followers to worry and fuel speculations. Many were curious as to how bad her injuries were and when she would be able to return to the limelight. Due to the difficulty of her recuperation after her injury, she had to postpone or cancel several activities. Nonetheless, photos of her started making the rounds at this time. Before Adrienne Gang's official return was announced, fans got a glimpse of her on social media when she accidentally uploaded a photo of herself and Carrie at the gym. Adrienne was inundated with inquiries from those who were devoted to Carrie. Since her injury, Carrie had not been photographed before. They were curious about Carrie's appearance, so Adrienne told them that she looked fantastic, completely unaffected by her injuries. But fans weren't yet persuaded, and Carrie only served to heighten their skepticism over her face and recovery. Underwood posted a selfie at the year's end of 2017 with a scarf covering most of her face. Even more concerned were the fans. Why was this taking place? Nobody was surprised by Carrie's behavior. I think anyone who has been through what she has would understand how she feels right now. Maybe she was trying to gain attention for herself, or maybe she was scared no one would accept her. Carrie finally revealed her studio presence on April 6, 2018 with the message, "Miss these guys, #band rehearsals," but whatever it was eventually revealed. She returned to her former glory and even dropped hints about a possible return to the big stage. Carrie Underwood's performance at the 53rd Annual Academy of Country Music Awards was announced by the organization. On April 15, 2018, during the ACM Awards, she was much anticipated by both fans and fellow performers. She received a standing ovation when entering the stage. Underwood looked very stunning in her silver gown, but it was her performance that had everyone enthralled. She sang the lead single off her 6th studio album, Cry Pretty, a song she co-wrote. She made the right decision with this song for her comeback because of its profound lyrics and strong emotional impact. Vulnerability, suffering, and the will to triumph were themes it explored. Carrie had been overcoming obstacles ever since her birth on March 10, 1983, deep in rural Oklahoma. Carrie delighted in family reunions, church services, and the seemingly endless expanse of open land as she grew up in the rural, uncomplicated life. She owes her affinity for music to her modest origins. Gospel hymns and country tunes dominated Carrie's early years as she frequently sung at her local church, the First Free Will Baptist Church. Her commanding voice initially caught people's attention there. There was no denying her talent. She quickly became a fixture at state fairs and talent competitions, where her incredible voice never failed to impress. Carrie never let the fact that she was from a tiny town dampen her ambitions of being a famous musician. Thus, Carrie went on to study broadcast journalism at Northeastern State University in Tahlequah, Oklahoma, after finishing high school. Her love for music remained unquenched even as she dove headfirst into her studies. While she aspired to a larger stage, she kept performing at local gatherings to hone her skills. Surprisingly, she had no idea that her life was going to undergo a transformation she had never anticipated. A life-altering decision was made by Carrie in 2004 when she auditioned for American Idol's fourth season. She was a senior in college with minimal band experience when this happened. The judges, including the infamously harsh Simon Cowell, were immediately captivated by her unfiltered skill and authentic demeanor. "I Can't Make You Love Me" by Bonnie Raitt was her audition song. It started her on the path to prominence by showcasing her remarkable vocal range and emotional depth. As the tournament progressed, Carrie's modesty and versatility continued to impress the judges and spectators. Her faithful fan base, Carrie's Care Bears, grew as she continued to wow the audience with her exceptional cover versions of popular songs throughout the program. There were many obstacles along her path on American Idol, but she overcame them all with her ability and determination. The grand finals took place on May 25, 2005, when she was pitted against Bo Bice. There was a deluge of acclaim for her last performances, which included Inside Your Heaven and Angels Brought Me Here. With a record-breaking 70 million votes, she was declared by Ryan Seacrest as the winner of American Idol Season 4. What followed her triumph on the television was even more remarkable. Following the victory, Underwood's career took off. A recording contract with Arista Nashville was one of Carrie's prizes for winning American Idol. In order to make the leap from reality TV star to full-time recording artist, this arrangement was vital. Carrie was able to reach a large audience thanks to the show, as well as those who enjoy music from different styles. She was able to reach listeners of both country and mainstream music because to her varied fan base. After her victory, Carrie went on a tour and played at a lot of famous events. Her success on American Idol boosted sales of her following albums and other endeavors. Inside Your Heaven. Her first hit broke new ground by being the highest-charting debut single in Billboard Hot 100 history. That is unusual for a country music performer. After it came Some Hearts, the best-selling first album by a female country music artist of all time. Her storytelling and musical talents were on full display in hits such as Jesus Take the Wheel and Before He Cheats. Carrie reached yet another major milestone in the short time after her American Idol victory. She took home the trophy for Best New Artist at the 2007 Grammys. Her second album, Carnival Ride, maintained her winning trend and cemented her position in the country music industry. She kept winning over listeners with her honest lyrics and sympathetic topics, which led to hit singles like So Small and Last Name that topped the charts. Pop influences were prominent in Carrie Underwood's songs right from the start. Carrie started to explore more pop-oriented sounds with her 2009 third album, Play. Cowboy Casanova, a popular song, demonstrated this with its more energetic and professionally produced sound. During this time, she began to develop as an artist, fusing elements of modernism with more traditional country music. Carrie's romantic life was impacted by her success. Mark Childers, Carrie's bassist, introduced her to Mike Fisher, an Ottawa Senators hockey player, in 2008 while Carrie was still enjoying the success of her albums and American Idol. After some hesitation, Carrie consented to meet Mike at the concert's backstage meet and greet. In the beginning, there was a buzz. Mike was quite hot, according to Carrie's recollection of her initial impression. They had obvious chemistry, but their blossoming romance was about to encounter a major obstacle: physical separation. Mike was a Canadian citizen, and Carrie was a Nashville resident. Their relationship started off with long-distance dating due to these differences. Depending on infrequent visits and frequent phone conversations, the challenge of keeping in touch across national boundaries was real. Carrie made a joke about the challenge and suggested finding a hockey player from another country. Very cool. Their bond strengthened with time despite the challenges posed by physical separation. As the ball dropped in Times Square at midnight on New Year's Eve 2008, they enjoyed their first kiss. For Mike, who usually felt awkward around displays of affection, this was a huge step. On December 20, 2009, after dating for a year, Mike asked Carrie to be his wife in an afternoon at his house. They tied the knot in a magical ceremony held at Greensboro, Georgia's Ritz-Carlton Lodge on July 10, 2010. Many famous people, including their families and friends, attended the extravagant celebration. 5,000 dazzling crystals and pink flowers adorned the venue. While balancing her roles as a wife and professional, Carrie never lost sight of her work. Blown Away, Carrie's 2012 album, demonstrated her courage in addressing heavy and complicated topics. She gained critical praise and widened her musical horizons with songs like Two Black Cadillacs and Blown Away, which presented compelling tales of deceit and perseverance. This record showcased her capacity to adapt while remaining faithful to her origins, a harmony that would characterize her career. With 2015's Storyteller, her fifth studio album, she maintained her hit-making prowess. Songs like Heartbeat and Smoke Break, which included her trademark storytelling from a more mature vantage point, struck a chord with listeners because of it. Carrie had just welcomed her first kid into the world, so the success of her album came as even more excellent news. In the month of February 2015, Isaiah Michael Fisher. Carrie wished for more children, but all she received was anguish and misery. 3 miscarriages befell Carrie between the years 2017 and 2018. Every setback crushed her hopes of starting a family of her own. The emotional toll was tremendous, and she was left to struggle with uncertainties. When Carrie was going through a tough time, she found solace and strength in her music. She frequently talks about how songwriting helps her deal with her emotions and understand her life better. Songs from her 2018 album Cry Pretty became an anthem for her strength in the face of adversity. Cry Pretty, the title tune, is an intense and honest song about the battle to save her sanity despite enduring profound emotional suffering. Carrie expressed the idea that it's all right to be open and honest about one's feelings through her songs. Mike Fisher, Carrie's husband, was an anchor for her during that difficult time. She found the emotional stability she needed via his steadfast support and empathy. They overcame the tragedy as a couple, drawing strength from their mutual love and faith. Throughout their relationship, Carrie has frequently mentioned how Mike's steady hand and unflappable demeanor helped her get through the hardest times. They were fortunate to have another son, Jacob Brian Fisher. The happy event of his birth represented the end of an era of hopelessness and the beginning of a new one. Next, problems arose. She had complications during the delivery of her second kid. The physical recuperation after Jacob's delivery was much more challenging for Carrie than her first pregnancy. The situation was complicated and difficult due to the obligations of caring for a newborn and the aspirations of returning to her profession. Fitness and healthy lifestyle choices have long been hallmarks of Carrie's public persona. She opened out about her battles to resume her exercise regimen in an Instagram post. She spoke clean about how her body wasn't reacting the same way it had after her previous pregnancy and how the mental and physical strain of feeling pressured to recover fast was affecting her. Carrie shattered the perfectionist image by being open about her struggles. It demonstrated that famous people, like the rest of us, encounter difficulties. Carrie gave voice to countless women who, hearing her speak, could finally relax and accept themselves for all they had been through. Many people started talking about the ridiculous expectations society has of new moms, body image, and self-acceptance after reading her message. There was an overwhelming feeling of camaraderie and unity as fans expressed their support, appreciation, and shared experiences in her comments. In the face of every obstacle she had encountered, she had always managed to find a middle ground. The pleasures and sorrows of juggling her famous profession with parenting have always been discussed openly by Carrie Underwood. She gives her followers a look at her life off stage by sharing photos of her family with them on social media. She is a mother to 2 little sons, Jacob and Isaiah. These touching scenes, which include Carrie making cookies and playing in the backyard, show how much she cares about her loved ones. As a result of the COVID-19 epidemic, the entire world went into lockdown at the beginning of 2020. Carrie was fortunate to have this unanticipated break in her otherwise jam-packed schedule. Due to the postponement of her public appearances and tour dates, she had plenty of time to spend at home with her family. She was able to form deep bonds with her children throughout this time, and gained a new perspective on their development. Whether it was engaging in creative play or homeschooling, she frequently recounted their everyday activities. Teaching Isaiah to ride a bike was a lovely moment she shared. Her voice betrayed her enormous delight and satisfaction as she described his first successful ride without training wheels. For her and her family, these ordinary events became cherished memories that will last a lifetime. The epidemic gave Carrie the opportunity to witness her children's development in real time, as she has mentioned. She was in awe of Jacob's developing character and Isaiah's inquisitive mind. Despite her typical hectic schedule, spending time with her deepened their bond and fostered a closer relationship. Despite the lockout, Carrie persisted in her creative pursuits, including music. At the same time she recorded My Savior, her first gospel album, and My Gift, her first Christmas album. It was not always easy for Carrie to juggle her responsibilities as a mother and an artist, but she managed. As a creative haven, she frequently recorded music at home with her boys close by. As the world started to reopen, Carrie had to figure out how to go back to work while still taking care of the family she had been very close to throughout the pandemic. Her Denim and Rhinestones tour, which was her first significant tour since 2019, began in 2022. She tried very hard this time to divide her time between her work and her family. She meticulously planned her tour itinerary to accommodate regular home visits and even included her family for some of the journey. A fan favorite was a video of her kid Isaiah blowing kisses and waving as he watched his mother perform from the audience. Also well received by viewers was Carrie's stint on American Idol as a judge and guest mentor. This was a watershed moment in her personal life as much as her career. She told her sons Isaiah and Jacob in particular about this extraordinary event. The joy and excitement felt by Carrie's eldest son Isaiah whenever he caught a glimpse of his mother on television was a topic of frequent conversation. Her reappearance took on a more intimate quality because of Isaiah's pure delight and respect. To his buddies, he would always exclaim, "That's my mom," whenever his mother made an appearance on television, bringing joy and satisfaction to Carrie. Carrie provided a lot of wisdom and compassion to her roles as judge and mentor. Standing on that stage, anxious and hopeful, was something she recalled. She gave the competitors honest criticism and guidance based on her own experience. She helped her students deal with the emotional ups and downs of the music business in addition to developing their technical abilities. Always be yourself and don't ever give up on your aspirations. That was her message to them. She was an inspiration to many because she had been there and done that, and she had succeeded beyond their wildest dreams. Many of the contestants mentioned how Carrie's words of wisdom boosted their self-assurance and helped them hone their performances. The example she set as a mentor encouraged people to follow their passions and realize their aspirations. Carrie was able to take stock of her personal path when she returned to American Idol. Returning to the stage that had transformed her life was an experience she frequently described as unreal. Thanks to this, she was able to reflect on and value her personal and artistic development. It served as a constant reminder of the perseverance and effort that had propelled her to her current position. Carrie took great pleasure in mentoring and encouraging aspiring artists. From a hopeful candidate to a respected mentor, Carrie's life has truly gone full circle. Dreams, perseverance, and the value of giving back are all exemplified by her story. Any dream can become a reality with enough drive and determination, as Carrie's story so clearly demonstrates. Where does the country singer go from here?